Hey guys, it's time for a way overdue garden update. Today is November the 20th and it's been a scorching hot day of around 32 to 33 degrees, but the garden's not looking too bad for it, so I'll just go around and show you what we're growing here. This is just the beginning of end of spring, beginning of summer, but it's hot summer temperatures, so I'll show you what's growing and what we've been eating out of the garden. So here, as we walk in the gate, we have some Lazy Housewife climbing beans that I planted a bit later that are just taking off. Over here in the back corner, I'm very excited to see these beans. This is the third time I've tried to plant them. I'm not sure what the name of them is, but we really need them for seeds for next year because we've run out. So I'm so happy to see that they've come up this time, and we'll be looking after them carefully and harvesting them just for the seeds to keep for next year. This is the parsnip that I left in the ground from our harvest. I just thought I'd let them grow a bit bigger, so they are looking heaps bigger and lusher than what they were before. Up in the back corner here we have our Purple King climbing beans, and we've had several meals from these so far, just fried up with a bit of onion and garlic and coconut milk. They're really delicious. They turn green when you cook them. They don't keep their purple colour, but they're still interesting to eat and nice and tender and tasty. So in amongst the parsnip here, I've planted a few more just bush beans to use up the space. And this area here that's empty, I did plant with bush beans, but I kept accidentally walking on them, so it's just become a footpath now. Up the back here, these here, now we can identify them, look like a yellow French bean. So I actually thought they were a climbing bean. Turns out they are a bush bean, but we'll be keeping these ones just for seeds as well because I don't have any more seeds for next year, so they've got a few beans on them already. Okay, in the next patch we have our eggplants. Now these eggplants up the back have had flowers, but no fruit hardly at all. Actually, here's one fruit, so I'm not sure what the difference is between them and the front ones. Maybe they need a bit more water. Oh, here's another couple there. This is a white eggplant. Tastes pretty similar to the purple eggplant. Just white skinned. You can use it with the skin just like your other eggplants. It doesn't grow as big, but there's heaps of them. Like on this bush here we have, it's only a tiny bush too. 1, 2, 3, it's a big one nearly ready to pick. 4. It's always a bit of a trick to know when to pick these ones. So they start to go yellow and hard when they're too old. Like this one here I think probably should be picked. It's not as soft as what it was. But I think they're nicest if you pick them when they're quite nice and soft to squeeze. Over here we have some lettuce going to seed. Our apple tree that desperately wants to be planted. This is a subtropical apple tree, so it should go really well in our climate, hopefully. And this here is our patch of bush beans. They're like a ballotti type bush bean. So here we are underneath. This is the one that I'm keeping for seeds at the end of the row. So I'm not sure if we can get a good focus happening there. Okay, got a bit better focus there. So it's kind of got purple stripes through it, and the bean itself, the inside once it's dry, is kind of a browny purplish colour with stripes on it. So that is our bologna beans. Up the back we have our lazy housewife climbing beans. Decided next year I'm probably not going to grow this one. I prefer the Purple King. It's quite a tougher skin on this one. So yeah, I don't think it has any added benefits as opposed to the purple one, so we'll stick with what we like. Find is the best bet. So next to the beans we have a row of flat-leafed kale. I don't know what variety, it might be the Tuscan one, I can't remember. I'm not very good at keeping track of what I plant. And under here we have I thought it was a garlic, but I don't know, it looks like a leek. I suppose we'll find out when I pull it up. I thought these were garlic that just keep sprouting, but he looks very much like a leek. Maybe he was a leek. This is the garlic for sure. It's nearly finished and it's quite different, so yeah, maybe a leek. I'm going to leave this one for a few more days before I harvest it, in the hopes that I can keep the garlic and replant it in a few spots. Okay, over here we have some old silver beet, which we really don't use. I should use it a bit more. Some very sad looking watermelon plants that I transplanted. They just really haven't taken off. Maybe they still will, we'll see. Here we have a couple of sweet potato plants that really haven't taken off. And we have some rocket that's self-seeded. I'm going to cut some of this rocket off tonight and we'll have it fresh for our salad in the morning. Over the back here we have some leeks. This one here is going to seed, so I might keep the seed of that one and we'll eat the rest. A few carrots that we've had left that I'm just leaving for juicing and having raw. And we have here lots of different zucchinis and squashes, which mostly are being stung by the fruit fly, which we have some stinging right now, little rats. So yeah, basically I've been eating bits and pieces off them, but most of them are full of fruit fly. In which case I've just brought some cover that we're going to cover it all on Sunday to stop the fruit fly from eating it. Over here we have some cucumbers. So the vines aren't really doing that great. Probably need some more fertilizer and some more watering. A lovely dead rat that has been eating our garden. Being consumed by the ants. Nice. There's more cucumber and squashes. Some more different squashes in here. Some more cucumbers. Basically cucumbers and squashes, and one crazy big silver beet plant that we really need to eat. It's a shame to waste it. Over here we have like an ornamental type gourd, but it's really been diseased and I think it's passing on the disease to my squashes, so I'm thinking of actually pulling it out because I really don't eat it. But these are what the gourds look like. They're cool for making instruments and stuff like that with, but not really into that. Okay, we have some more carrot here. We've still got bits of broccoli sprouting, so I might just pick all the remnants of that. Oh, another new one coming. Little bits and pieces, they'll go good in a stir fry. And along here we have the chia seeds, or chia plants that I planted, and they're going really well, so hopefully we might get our own chia seeds. And here I planted some sunflowers, but haven't seen any sign of them. The ground's probably way too dry. So it needs a bit more watering, I think. Which is what I should be doing instead of filming. Some more of the Belotti beans and some more Purple King climbing beans there. These ones are a few weeks behind the other ones, so we haven't started eating off them yet. This is my nutgrass patch. Still fighting it, but I am slowly, I think, winning the war. There's one there as well. Just have to keep on top of it and not let them get away. This is our Warrigal Greens patch that we let go this year. And over here is the corn that we planted just a little while ago. I did a clip of the corn when I was planting it, which I'll upload hopefully as well. But basically I got these all from Bunnings. Some of them were planted 2 or 3 to a pack and I separated them out. Now you can see that some have definitely grown better than others, but every single one has survived so far and they're all doing really, really well. Even these 2 little tiny ones that I didn't think would survive, so really happy with that. Looks like I did manage to plant 2 together. I have to pull one of those out. And I planted in here, I planted some seeds. I planted some marigolds, which are these ones. They're hard to differentiate from the weeds. They all look the same, but I'm hoping when they get a bit bigger then I'll be able to weed out all the weeds. And I planted some other bits and pieces, some lettuce. I don't think the lettuce has come up at all. And some pyrethrum. I think I chucked a few seeds in here as well. This here is our celery patch that the roots that I had from the original harvest are just left in the ground, cut them off, and we're continuing to be able to harvest these celery and put them in our cooking and use the leaves in green drinks. Planted a couple of rock melon seeds, which I can't see anything growing yet. Might have to try again, I think. Our big curly kale patch. Love this kale, it's really tasty. We had some for breakfast with the onion and garlic. It's really yummy. This here is our corn. This is our big corn. I can't tell you how old this is, but I did try a companion planting technique with this corn, which hasn't quite worked. So I saw that you can plant beans underneath the corn and then they'll grow up the corn while they're growing, but I think I planted the beans too late and so the corn got too much of a head start and now they're not getting enough light and nutrition to grow up. But that was a learning experience. Under here I also have some squash growing, which seems to be going well. And I also tried to plant some lettuces under here. Looks like they're probably not getting enough water. Everything's struggling for water at the moment. It's just so dry. Here I have some okra that I planted. I was looking on the net, what can we plant so late in the season, and apparently okra doesn't mind the heat, so we have some little okra plants coming up here. So this whole patch should be okra. We'll have to figure out how many ways we can cook okra. Here we have some yacon plants, which I don't know, I haven't really succeeded with yacon yet. These aren't looking as big and healthy as I expected them to look now, but I'll have to be patient. This one's coming along a little bit better. Here, in amongst those weeds, there's some carrots, some leftover cabbages for the chickens. But I might actually harvest a couple of those before I give it to the chickens. Some good cabbage there. Some sunflowers, some lettuces. Along the back I planted them here because this has got the most shade in the day, but in the afternoon it still gets beaten by the sun, so I tried to plant some more sunflowers along the front here, but they haven't come up yet. Probably the usual problem of not enough water. Some French sorrel for salads, sweet potato plants which are coming up everywhere over the back here, and some more squash, which, as you can see, this is our problem with the fruit flies. It's horrible. Feed them to the chickens. Watermelon plant in the back there, next to it is a lavender, and we have there some rosemary. More warble greens. Our bushy basil and another squash under the tree there. Now we'll go to the chicken yard and show you what we're growing there. So under this basket here, protecting it from these little rascals, is a watermelon. No, it might be a gourd. We'll see when it bears fruit. I think it might be a gourd looking at the leaves. And in this caged off area we have the basil, which is really flourishing, and this is a spaghetti melon, I believe. We have the arrowroot, which has just gone crazy. We started off just with one spike and now we have 4, and this one is a watermelon here. Have our lemongrass in the corner there, which is going really well. This is our poor ducky who has got a sore leg. I think the drake has jumped on her a bit much and now she's a bit sore, so she's in here for a little while to recover. In the corner here I've planted another lemongrass, which is just starting to take off, and our little nasturtium bush over there, which is coming along, not as big as the ones in the garden, but it's coming along. This is our patch of rocket that I sowed here just to cover the ground, and that's going really well, going to seed, and there's amaranth as well, wild stuff that's growing all over there. Over here we have one poor okra plant that has survived the chickens continuously uprooting. I don't know if it will bear anything, it's very small, but we'll see. And over here we have the wormwood, more nasturtium. That stick is the magic tree, whatever it is, and in the corner there is mugwort and another basil there. It's not doing as well as the other one though. Over here we have a purple king bean. I just had some spare seeds that I dropped on the ground, so I chucked them here and they seem to be doing really well. Over here we have our wicking bed, which is going excellent, and our capsicum bushes, which I really didn't think would take off because they were so stunted, but they are going for gold. And we even have, let's see if we can see it, where has he gone? Oh, there. We even have a little capsicum starting to grow, so that's really exciting. We'll have to cover it ASAP though, to stop the fruit fly from getting it. So we might just get some clear shade cloth type stuff. Watermelons going crazy here, so I need to thin these ones out a bit. I have thinned the other side, but these ones need thinning out. Okay, over here we also have another gourd and a watermelon that's surviving, but the little chickens keep going in there and having a dig, so we'll see how well it survives. Here I've planted Here I've planted some more gourds, which haven't come through as yet, but with all the rain that we've been having, they should be coming through. Another watermelon's in here, and this wormwood is really taking off. It was looking a bit sad for a while, but it's looking excellent now. That's it for the chicken yard. Now we'll stop at the potato patch. So yesterday my husband harvested 6 kilos of potatoes out of that half of the patch. So we're just waiting for these plants to finish flowering and wilt off before we harvest them. Wasn't as good a harvest as we hoped, but it's something. The potatoes were really good. They didn't have any marks or anything on them, but yeah, it would have been nice to have a bit more harvest. They did get wilt or blight pretty early though. Here we have all the nectarines that I so carefully covered, and I think the fruit bats, I was blaming possums, but I think it might even just be the fruit bats, have come and chewed on them through the cloth, so that was a bit of a waste of time. I'm not quite sure what to do for future, but we'll think of something. So it'll be another year without any fruit. See, look at what they've done. What a mess. So if anyone has ideas of how to protect your fruit from fruit bats and possums, would love to know. Out the back here, over the back fence, I have planted a patch of comfrey, because I wanted to grow a lot more comfrey, and I want to split this more. So all these comfrey started off with just 2 inches of root. So I'll do a YouTube clip a bit later on how I did that, but it's the easiest thing to multiply, and as you can see they're pretty healthy going for it. I don't know how old they are, can't remember when I did it, but yeah, they're probably 6 months old. These are my eggplants that had the spider mite plague, and as you can see there is no sign of spider mites anymore. We have won the war, so I'm so thankful for that. But check out under here the fruit that we have. I've just tied them all up, they're all on the ground, but there is just so many fruit on these bushes. Some of them desperately need picking, so I'm going to do that a little bit later today, but there's just heaps of them. So we are going to be having eggplant dishes for weeks and sharing them with all our friends. This is the one under the comfrey bush. It does seem to have shot a lot taller than the others. We don't know whether the comfrey is doing that, but it doesn't have as many fruit, so maybe it's just the competition that's pushing it higher. It does have a few fruit, but definitely not as many as the other ones, so might be time to cut the comfrey back for a bit while it finishes fruiting. So yeah, really happy with our eggplants, and there's more in the garden as well, so super excited with these. This is our pawpaw tree. There's a few flowers at the top there, but no real fruit forming now. We ended up eating the pawpaw green rather than letting it ripen, because as it ripened the bugs were destroying it, and we found that green is really tasty in stir fries and stuff like that. So we've decided in the future that, especially this pawpaw, it's a yellow one, it's not very nice when it's ripe anyway, so green pawpaw it is. This is my mother perennial basil bush where I've taken all the other ones from, and yeah, it just continues flowering. The bees just love it. It attracts all the beneficial insects to the rest of my garden. There's a bee right now having a bit of a buzz. Now, under the banana tree I have some sweet potato from last year that I've left in the hopes that I might get some sweet potato from it, since I didn't from any of the other bushes. And I think these might have been a pumpkin that we threw here. We'll see see whether we get anything from it. It doesn't look the healthiest, but there are some flowers, some male flowers on it. So we shall wait and see. Here we have another cherry tomato bush that needs picking. These are a bigger cherry tomato. And behind we have some more chia and strawberries. So I've planted chia between each of the strawberries. We'll see how that goes. Some more tomatoes that need cleaning up and finishing. And we just have basil here now, where the other tomatoes used to be. I've pulled out all the old bushes. And this one here I left because out of the dead remains of the tomato bush we had new life spring, and it even has tomatoes growing on it, so I was really excited about that. And I cut off all the dead stuff and we're letting it grow. I've also put some foil and moss around the stalk and another one just to try and get it to get roots, and then I'm going to cut it off and plant it somewhere else, like as a clone, so that hopefully we can get some more of these tomatoes before the season's over. And up the back here, where we have a bit of space, I planted some more gourds as well. So that's about it, guys. Yeah, I don't think there'll be anything much more happening for a while. We just got to wait the summer out, keep everything as shady as we can and see what happens. So you'll just see bits and pieces of harvest along the way, and anything new and exciting I'll let you know. Okay, catch you then, bye.